The minimum wage in most states across the country is $7.25. However, with the current state of the fragile economy, many low-wage workers have to also rely on governmental assistance.
According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the minimum wage is $7.25. But two states, Georgia and Wyoming, have minimum wages below this standard at $5.15. The minimum wage for the state of Ohio is $8.30. According to a study done at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology called the Living Wage Calculator, the poverty wage in Cuyahoga County is $5 for one adult, and the living wage is $9.61 for one adult. In order to live comfortably, meeting all needs and necessities, the living wage is necessary. No matter the wage, we are still called to live in solidarity with one another, helping others fight for change, especially regarding the minimum wage. Work and wages are supposed to support people, not the other way around. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Workers from all over the United States are standing up for their rights and demanding higher wages and better working conditions. They are fighting for a change and a better working environment. While workers are fighting for a change, they're still being affected by unjust working conditions and wages.
The unemployment caused by the minimum wage is a lose-lose-lose. Workers are robbed of their wages and that invaluable work experience. Employers are robbed of the benefit that would have been gained by employing. And the whole economy is worse off because those unemployed workers are now unable to contribute their labor to help everyone's economic prosperity.
One of the Holy Cross curriculum, Option for the Poor, requires Christians to promote social justice and help the poor and needy. Similarly, in Catholic social teaching, Pope Leo XIII's encyclical Rerum Novarum asks everyone to fight for social injustice and care for the workers. According to the scripture reading, do not withhold wages from your workers, for their livelihood depends on them. It means that we should not squeeze workers to work for us. Their wages are not even able to support their families. Instead, we are called to respect them and care more on them. Let's see some effects of working conditions and wages on people, business, and the nation. For individuals, low wages makes poverty. Workers in low-wage careers are less likely to marry and more likely to divorce and experience family instability. Children of low-wage parents are often forced into the labor market early themselves and face education difficulties. But by increasing the wages, it will help to decrease the turnover rate. Employees who are making a higher minimum wage feel more comfortable and satisfied in their jobs, meaning they are less likely to quit. This means there would be a lower turnover rate, which will result in fewer expenses to hire and train new employees. As for business, it will help to create more job opportunities. If these minimum wage employees are spending more, then the businesses are earning more and needed to hire more employees to keep up with the increased sales from the minimum wage employees who are buying more. With the low wage, government will spend a lot in social welfare. Also, by increasing the minimum wage, it will help to reduce some income inequality, as well as increase workers' productivity. Besides, Raising the minimum wage would help reduce the federal deficit. This is a factory where iPhone assembles. Workers are forced to work over 14 hours a day here. You can see the exhausted workforce inside the factory everywhere. People sleep in their breaks or even falling asleep while they are working.
When it comes to unjust working wages and conditions, you may question who has the power and how is this power used. Managers, business owners, or people over the employees have the power. This can sometimes be the government too. And it is very evident that in this case, the power comes from all the people that are above the employees because those are the ones who cause this injustice and keep it going. The federal government influences wages by setting the minimum wage. Minimum wage can influence other wages in the marketplace. The federal government also influences wages through legislation regarding federal contracts. The Davis-Bacon Act requires that all private agencies and companies receiving federal funding pay the prevailing wages. With the marketplace being and the economy being so different now, it is very hard for people to live a regular lifestyle and have a job that pays minimum wage. This causes people to end up homeless on the street or not having a house or food to go to every night and depend on. This could be changed if all people come together, living in solidarity, coming together as one. Another way that this could be changed is by going to the National Labor Relations Board, protecting the rights of workers. Also, you could shop fair trade so that you are helping out the people who work in fair working conditions so that they are able to live a regular lifestyle. You're also able to come together with other people so that you live in subsidiarity by organizing principles that matters ought to be handled by the smallest or lowest or least centralized component authority. Political decisions should be taken at local levels if possible, rather than a central authority. This allows people to be treated with human dignity and their human rights, and this allows all the people to come together so that this could be changed and the laws could be different.
Fair trade is a social movement whose stated goal is to help producers in developing countries achieve better trading conditions and to promote sustainability. In fair trade, people buy things directly from the farmers, ensuring that they get a fair amount from the product and can keep the quality of them up. When you choose products with a fair trade label, your day-to-day purchases can improve an entire community's day-to-day lives. For our action response, we helped out at our school's World Fair Trade Day coffee house. By doing this, we spread awareness of unjust working conditions. At the Fair Trade Coffee House, one table sold Gilmore School uniforms made by One Seed Heritage. Everything there is handmade and empowers women out of poverty in developing communities lacking access and opportunity. At another table, we had bracelets that were made by the Mayan Hands Foundation, a group of women in Guatemala. Another table had different accessories from the Revive Fair Trade Boutique in Cleveland. The Revive Boutique is committed to bringing quality fair trade products to shoppers all over. These products are eco-friendly and made from recycled, organic, sustainable material. The food that was sold was made with Eco Exchange Fair Trade chocolate. Overall, we raised $993 for the Mayan Hands Foundation and $795 for the Save Our Adolescents from Prostitution, the SOAP organization. This action response benefited our Gilmore community because we were able to make our classmates aware of what fair trade is and what it means for our school to be an official fair trade school.
We can look at the Church's view on our topic by the Catholic social teachings and the Holy Cross charisms. The two Catholic social teachings that I thought provided the most foundation were solidarity and the rights and dignity of a worker. Solidarity means that we must unify with one another. No matter the wage or working environment, we are all called to live in solidarity with one another. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops said, "Work and wages are supposed to support people, not the other way around. This means workers are not supposed to work so hard just so that the company makes profit. They're supposed to get a fair pay for their work." The Catholic Framework for Economic Life, number 5, states, "All people have the right to economic initiative, to productive work, to just wages and benefits, to decent working conditions, as well as to organize and join unions or other associations." Two Holy Cross charisms that provide foundation for our topic are Option for the Poor and Zeal. For option of the poor, we need to give voice to the voiceless to defend the defenseless. This can be used by standing up to raising the wage for people who work full-time or have children that they need to take care of. We need to use zeal by knowing what needs to be done and going out and doing that. We must make God known, loved, and served. You can do this by openly speaking out about injustices to figure out what needs to be done. We must make it known to as many people as we can that even a full-time minimum wage job can't provide the necessary items we need to live, such as food, water, clothing, and shelter.
In order to empower workers who are currently being mistreated, our group needed to spread awareness and encourage consumer reform as well as legal reform. As a group, we spent countless hours researching this topic and interviewing local experts. The labor issues surrounding the Qatar World Cup in 2022 have been very controversial. We decided to share some of the stories of the workers today to spread awareness.
This glittering world is built by men who live in a very different one.
त्यही हो प्रब्लम भनेको त्यही हो यहाँ हाम्रो अब त्यो टोयलेट बाथरुम हेर्दाखेरि त्यस्तै छ केही त्यसको सफाइ छैन हैन सब उस्तै छ
कहिले पानी पाएन कहिले खपस पाएन कहिले खाना पाएन
भनिहाल्यो अगाडि नै आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत
The second key to empowering workers is consumer reform. Consumers have to stop empowering abusive companies and instead refuse to buy their products and/or services. If abusing workers hurts the bottom line, then companies like Nike and Hershey will stop doing it. This is one of the ways our group can continue on with Praxis. By continuing to buy and encouraging others to buy fair trade products, which directly relates back to our action response that we mentioned earlier. Thirdly, laws need to change to protect the rights of illegal immigrants in the workplace and ensure they receive just wages and conditions. The undocumented worker pictured above was quoted as saying, "I never wanted to tell anyone I wasn't being paid." It's not uncommon for undocumented workers to face deportation when they accuse employers of abuse, which is why they often say, "Stay quiet and say nothing." As a group, we knew we needed to act. Legal aid societies around the country provide legal advice to people who can't afford their own counsel. Undocumented workers have nobody to fight for their labor rights. That is why our group would allocate the funds to legal aid if we are lucky enough to win. The Legal Aid Society in Cleveland would be best equipped to fight for these workers.